Dr. Semed Seyidov, Azerbaijan's chairman of the International and Interparliamentary Relations Committee. And I think as being the last, at least in the first opening comments, you have an interesting position where you're sitting. And so take it from where Azerbaijan is sitting and, looking east, looking west, and how you see this partnership working effectively. And you might want to add in a word, particularly about energy and energy issues in this mix.
First of all, thank you very much for inviting me and having me today. It's a really great honor to be together with friends and colleagues. And actually, my friends make my life very easy because majority of the questions and challenges they covered during their own presentation. But frankly speaking, being a representative of Azerbaijan, I want to say that starting from early today discussions, I can see that, within the Eastern Partnership program, everything is going well. This program is really very good implemented, and this is a fantastic and golden chance for members of this program to be more integrated to Europe, to the rest of the world, etc. But at the same time, we see how difficult the real life is, how situation is deteriorating, and we are here in order to find the way out from this very difficult situation. And believe me, if we are not able to understand that not only other side, but Eastern Partnership Program made mistakes, shortcomings, and some difficult issues, we are not able to see the future if we are not able to analyze the past. This is my position, and at the same time, of course, Azerbaijan has a very specific and very special relationship with European Union from two angles, if I may say like that. We have great success with negotiations and creating a legal framework of our relationship with European Union countries, for example, as my colleagues mentioned, facilitating of visa regime, readmission agreement, and in July of 2014 signing the special protocol which opened. And at the same time, we can see some problematic issues and difficulties within our way to more integrated to the European Union, to the European countries. And I wanted to show this progress. Azerbaijan just recently, in September actually, has signed and held the groundbreaking ceremony of Southern Gas Corridor with participation of different representatives of European nations, and expressed their readiness to be together with the rest of the Europe in order to deliver gas and oil and in order to create alternative way for security, energy security for Europe. And this is, I think, the great contribution of Azerbaijan to the European stability and to the European family. And we did it really taking into account that we are thinking not against somebody. We are thinking in favor of Europe and in favor of Azerbaijan. And it gave us the possibility to bring together Azerbaijan, Georgia, Turkey, Bulgaria, Italy, Greece, and other countries in order to find the common grounds for future development. Could you imagine, before the signing these groundbreaking protocols and the ceremony, from the European Union, sponsored some NGOs who organized all over the Europe, and especially in Roma, events against top and turn-up activities, which is absolutely contradicting the policy which provided by the European Union concerning neighborhood program, concerning Eastern Partnership, and etc. We of course, looking for communication and cooperation with our friends and partners. But we should take into account that we came to this cooperation not only because of our desire to be a member of the European Union and international organizations such as the Council of Europe and others. We came because we shared the same values. We came because we are looking for our interest and our national values. Because European interest and Azerbaijani interest coincident in this matter. And we are looking for justice. Justice from the point of view, implementation and restore international law, not only in Europe, not only in Ukraine, not only in Moldova or Georgia, but also in Azerbaijan. And that's why when we started to speak about so-called frozen conflicts at the previous session, our colleague mentioned that in Georgia, in Moldova, and now situation in Ukraine. But let's remind that 20 years ago, this frozen conflict had happened in Azerbaijan and the big territory of Azerbaijan. 20% actually of territories of Azerbaijan had been occupied. And maybe this sounds a little bit strange, but 20% of my territory, 20% of Georgian territory, 20% of Ukrainian territory under occupation. What is that? This is a price for freedom. And that's why, from this point of view, if we are looking for progress within the European Neighborhood Program, if we are looking for understanding, mutual understanding within this program, we should take into account that these kind of problems are existing. I mean, different implementation, different approach to the same matters, to the same problematic issues. Believe me, I'm confident, if in due time, European Union, United States of America, paid more attention to the violation of grave violation of international law in Nagorno-Karabakh, because of occupation of Azerbaijani territory. Nothing had happened in Georgia, in Moldova, and in Ukraine. But when those who violated international law can see that nothing had happened, immediately new and more grave situation is coming. And that's why, if you are looking for a way out from Ukrainian crisis, you should return back to the history. You should return back to the cause. You should return back to the problematic issues which started from occupation of my territory. Because today, here, this is the main problem, not only for us, but for the rest of the world. And at the end of my remarks, I want to say that, you know, friends, despite of all difficulties, despite of all challenges which we faced, the way of our integration to Europe, to United States of America, and relationships with these countries, this is a priority for foreign policy of Azerbaijan. And, you know, sometimes we can see that somebody, my friend just mentioned about that, some circles, in order to create obstacles for Europe, for neighborhood programs, creating bad image of the countries who are doing their best in order to be together with civilized world, in order to withdraw these countries, these policies from the agenda. I hope that this Atlantic Council meeting will help us, especially for Azerbaijan, to understand that not only black and white are existing, not only we should think with the language of sanctions, but much more better to help countries, to invest to countries, to do their best in order to bring the projects which are so important to the rest of the Europe to the agenda and to create new, peaceful, and very acceptable Europe. Thank you very much.
Thank you. As we follow up, I hope we go back.
I even don't like the title, the Eastern Partnership Initiative. That should not be initiative. It's right time to have...
In how the imprisonment of these liberal secular voices enhances stability in Azerbaijan and contributes to the larger idea of a Europe whole and free.
All right. Dr. Seyidov.
Thank you very much for this question. This is really very important because For a couple of hours, we are discussing the situation in Ukraine, and the majority of the speakers said that, you know, that's propaganda which created a lot of impacts to clearly understanding what is really going on in Ukraine. And, you know, this propaganda is so properly working not only in Russia, in Europe, but even in United States of America. Why, in this case, we're not able to say the same words? Because this is, again, the aim and obligation of Azerbaijan in order to respect the human rights, the rule of law, and democracy. We are full-fledged member of the Council of Europe, and we are on covered by the European Court of Human Rights. And nobody in Azerbaijan restricted or arrested because of their political or other things. But unfortunately, the way of exclude Azerbaijan from European integration, the way of exclude Azerbaijan to be closer to the United States of America and to their allies is exactly what you said. To present us as a country where violated human rights, which is unacceptable for the majority of the people who are sitting here, and in order to create the image of the bad country who is not able to manage human rights and rule of law and democracy in Azerbaijan. But I wanted to remind you that in Azerbaijan today, Jewish people and Azerbaijani people, Muslim people I mean, and Christians, they're living in peace. And representative of the Jewish minority is a member of the parliament. And I don't know who am I. I'm half Azerbaijan, half Jewish, I'm Christian. And this is the real achievement of my society, civil society. And that's why when you are blaming the country, please take into account that today, the majority of the problems of the Eastern Partnership because of geopolitics and because somebody in some circles tried to use human rights in geopolitic means. Thank you.
Right. Sir, I believe you had your hand up, and then come here. Okay.
Thank you very much. I'm Asim Mollazadeh, Member of Parliament of Azerbaijan. We were listening that the Guam country, Georgia, Ukraine, Azerbaijan, and Moldova paid a really very expensive price for freedom. 20% of each country under occupation. And second variant is the creation of Minsk group. It's a never-ending imitation of negotiation. We have it for Azerbaijan. Now there is a new Minsk group for Ukraine, but Ukraine now in different stage. You have in a hard process of military operation. And every day, hundreds of people dying there. But there is a question, because there is a European humanitarian disaster. Million people in all these countries are refugees. 100,000 in Ukraine, 100,000 in Georgia. It's refugees from Abkhazia and Ossetia. Not only Georgians, also Ossetians and Abkhazians, because everything under military control, the same in Azerbaijan.
So let me ask you,
my
what's
question
your question?
is
Thank
that is the Eastern Partnership thinking about this army of refugees? Because I'm pessimist, and the scenario which we have now for Ukraine, Minsk group, soft scenario, it means it will be a never-ending story. Is the Eastern Partnership thinking about the millions of refugees in this project?
Right. Thank you.
That's at the very core of the Eastern Partnership, to make your countries as compatible